you question me, Emma?
I don't know what the hell that was, but ahoy hoy and welcome into the PHNX Suns pregame show. We are brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Yes, it is Suns and Grizzlies tonight, but we're going to talk about some of the news of the day that has happened, and then we'll get into the game. He is Saul, I'm Espo, and let's hop right into it.
I'm feeling pretty good. Thanks for asking, though.
I really don't give a shit how you're feeling.
I'm good on the microdoses of OGs and my new swag, baby.
Oh,
look at this shit.
I think we have our answer as to why he yelled at the beginning of the program.
Let's go.
Let's get into it. Earlier today, Mikal Bridges addressed the situation that of DA and Monty yelling at each other. We got insight that wasn't part of the context the other day. Let's take a look at what Mikal had to say.
DA and Landry were talking about how, when people think of family or brotherhood, they always think of the positive stuff, but sometimes there's, family fights and
for sure.
And then they make up and give. I'm assuming that's kind of the sentiment you shared on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like I was totally out of line. Just being in front of everybody like that, and there's people and players in the league that just kind of do that for a show, kind of get on their teammates just so the crowd can see it. And I'm the last person to do that, so to do that and feel like it was embarrassment on just DA's part because I'm just going at him like that. It messed me up. That was like I said, it was fucked up on my end, and I apologize to him and the team after for that. There's just I could have got my point across after when it was just us and in a huddle or something like that. So it was just fucked up by me, and I just. I never want to do that to more of my brothers, to put them in that situation like that. So it definitely fucked me up a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, never really gonna know. Just internet captures what they see, which is fine. But yeah, Mont was just trying to control both of us, just getting on both of us, and Dave was just frustrated, and I was quiet in it because I already knew what I did. I messed up, and but yeah, he was yelling at both of us, telling us like y'all two quit it out and stuff like that. But yeah, internet's you see what you see sometimes.
So I guess the two kids were arguing, and Dad had to step in. Was what was going on, not Monty and DA hating each other and all the drama that everybody assumed it was.
I mean, that's what I mean.
Not us.
No, I know. I was like, this is exactly what I thought it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And this is no surprise. And, there's a comment in the chat that says, I have a feeling Mikal is using himself as a scapegoat. No, he's not. The reason why is because he's not putting the blame on what the reason why they were mad at on himself or DA. He's not saying that DA wasn't wrong about being out of position or whatever they were arguing about. What he's doing is he's the one that initiated the whole conversation with DA out loud in front of Bradley Beal and then to the sideline, and he's saying that his conduct should have been better. Which I agree. You got to be a pro, know when to go and when not. But at the end of the day, honestly, I felt like this was an unnecessary explanation and apology because this is okay.
I don't think it is unnecessary, though, because of the way the national media reacted. You had talking heads shouting at the top of their lungs, including Charles Barkley, saying, the DA, Monty, it's all falling apart. This was Mikal saying, hey, you're all wrong. Like, get it straight. And then I want to address Connor, but you go ahead first.
But it is unnecessary because you think they're all going to talk about that now?
No.
Nope. Not even a little bit. They won't pick it up now. They won't pick it up next Tuesday when TNT's back on. They won't pick it up Sunday night. Nothing. No, they're not even going to talk about it.
I wonder if the ESPN broadcast will talk about it tonight.
Maybe.
And maybe that's one reason you do it, because you are on national TV tonight, and it may get mentioned there. Connor says Mikal putting his big boy pants on, unlike DA. I'm sorry, but that's crap. DA admitted after the game that he was at a position he didn't set the screen right, and he was in the wrong in what he did. So DA stepped up too. This was Mikal's first opportunity, and he did as well. Everybody acted like adults in this situation, including Monty. Like, this is just the way adults work sometimes.
You're right. There's somebody in the chat, which is blocked on my end. I can't see it at all. It says that DA is public enemy number one. And it really does feel like that. It really does feel like that, both from a national perspective and local. Like every time DA does something that just any sliver of a thing that he does that is not approved by some people in the general public, they use it as an opportunity to attack him. Whereas they don't do that with all the other guys. They just don't. Not even Chris Paul gets this level of angst and hatred towards him as DA. And I don't know if it's, the guy put up 30 and 13 the other night.
Yeah, we forget that.
And we still had 50% of the chat saying it was his fault we lost. Bro, I don't even know what to say.
Not the only drama that came up today. As the Jae Crowder turns, that drama continues. As Heavy.com reported today, an anonymous GM was talking about the Crowder situation. And one of the most interesting things was he said, quote, Phoenix is leaking all sorts of things out periodically, but I think it's mostly just to try to stir up some interest. That's interesting because we always assume nothing leaks out from the Phoenix Suns. It's what we've come to believe, but it makes a lot of sense. If you're trying to find a trade partner, you need to create buzz. It would make sense that they're the ones that are leaking some of this stuff.
Well, you gotta. They're trying to be proactive about this, and so I mean, it's just you have to figure out a way to be able to make a move because everybody's clamoring for it, and you're on the clock. You have 2 months basically until that is no longer a play for you. So yeah, I mean, I don't fault them for doing that, but it's not news. But what I don't like is anonymous GM. Put your name to it or shut the fuck up.
He also said, and since it's a GM, and we know it's a he, the NBA doesn't have a female GM out there yet. He said that this looks bad on Jae Crowder more than anybody else. That this has hurt his value, and if he had just come in and played and showed off what he could do, he would likely get the contract he wants, but now that's a big question mark.
He might not get the contract. He might not be on the team that he wants. I can guarantee you he's not going to a team that he wants to go to. You're talking about you might ship his ass to, as my friends put it, Shiberia, which is Chicago, because it's frozen over right now, and be on one of the worst teams in basketball if you want to. Or again,
Washington.
Fuck around and find out.
And we're at that intersection with Jae Crowder
1,000,000%
right now. So that's kind of the drama that's going on. Let's get in to a little Suns Grizzlies. It doesn't mean the drama goes away because Ja Morant had a lot to say this week and basically said, I ain't afraid of no Suns.
Who do you look at around the league as you're studying and say, we're going to have to run through them?
Celtics.
No one in the West?
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
So Ja says, not afraid of the Western Conference at all. And then doubled down in pregame media or in shoot-around today in Phoenix, and somebody said, you're not afraid of the Suns? He said, I said I'm not afraid of anybody in the West. Ja Morant is really feeling himself right now.
I mean, yeah, he is. I mean, he has every right to feel that way. If he doesn't feel anybody, the thing is that sucks is, or not sucks, but the reason why this is a bigger deal, I think, is because he did say he did fear a team, which was the Celtics, but nobody in the West. And if that's his bag, then fine, so be it. But again, fuck around, find out.
Mean, that's a pretty big statement to make when you're basically percentage points ahead of like 5 teams in the Western Conference, like the Grizzlies are. It's not as if they're like 8 games up in the West and it's, hey, you guys mean nothing. Like, look, there are multiple teams that I think could hand it to the Grizzlies in a 7-game series in the West.
I don't think it really really alludes to the fact that he thinks his team is that much better than everybody. I think it more alludes to the fact that he thinks he's that much better than everybody else, which, I mean, he's playing at a high level right now. You can't knock it. But do I agree with him? Yeah, I think he should be very afraid of a couple teams out West, namely the Denver Nuggets, the LA Clippers, and the Phoenix Suns.
Marco in the chat says, how would you answer that question, though? I'd answer it, I'm focused on what we're doing here in Memphis, and right now we're number 1 in the West.
Yeah, but the reason why people love Ja is because he speaks his mind. And I love it too. Like, I'm cool with it. Like, hey, if that's how you feel, cool. You better back that shit up in playoffs because the first round exit will shut you the hell up fast.
Well, you've just given bulletin board material to every single one of those teams in the West. And you know that motivates the Suns team. They love when people hate on them like that. And I think that gives you a little pep in your step, even though you don't have Devin Booker tonight, to go out there and work them a little
If you
bit.
were Ja Morant, would you be afraid of the Suns this year?
If they're at full strength, yeah. I mean, they're not right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Devin Booker and him mano a mano is an interesting matchup. They're young. They're somewhat inexperienced. The Suns have more experience. In a 7-game series, I would take the Suns. Now, I would think it would go 7 probably, but I'd take the Suns in a 7-game series against the Memphis team.
I think Ja Morant thinks that he would be the best player in that series and that he could overcome just about anything that the Suns threw at him. So, I mean, listen, if he doesn't fear anybody in the West, then he just doesn't fear anybody in the West. And to be honest with you, when you look at the West and how much parity there is, I don't necessarily feel like there's a team that I would struggle with if I was Ja Morant. Like, I think when he looks at the Celtics, he's like, they can execute and they can do things at a different level right now than basically the rest of the NBA, even though they've slumped of late.
Yeah, I mean, they've lost 5 in a row.
But again, Ja's looking at it from his perspective, and hey, cool. Hey, listen, if you need bulletin board material in the playoffs, then you've probably already lost anyway.
I don't think that's true. All these guys look for whatever little edge and motivation.
In the playoffs?
In anything.
Shit, I wish the fucking Dallas Mavericks would have said something to the Suns last year in Game 7. That'd have been awesome.
The Suns actually.
I mean, Luka did.
The Suns were the ones that gave the bulletin board material in that series.
Until Luka said, "Oh, everybody wants to talk big when they're up." Like, I felt like that was bulletin board material, and the Suns didn't do shit with that.
Well, let's take a look at why Ja probably shouldn't fear the Suns tonight. The injury report: Cam Johnson's still out, Cam Payne's still out, Devin Booker out, Jock Landell's back, as is Josh Okogie. They'll be available. Desmond Bane back for the Grizzlies for the first time in 6 weeks. So that's good for them. Danny Green still out. So, yeah, I could see why Ja wouldn't fear this team necessarily this evening.
Yeah.
They're missing some of the bigger guns offensively.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this should be a pretty good game, but again, you're going to need a big-time game from the two guys we've been saying we always need big games from, and they've been wildly inconsistent. DA, not so much as Mikal, but Mikal and DA cannot go MIA tonight. They go MIA, they lose by 40.
Do you put Mikal on Ja? Is that your play tonight?
Yeah, I think that's your only play tonight.
Same here. You're definitely not putting CP3 on him.
But Mikal, they'll shit, watch him try.
Yeah, that's gonna be one hell of a poster this
Watch
evening.
him try.
He's gonna teabag him. I mean,
as much as I disagree with Pat Bev calling him a cone, against Ja Morant, he's probably a cone.
He's gonna padunk-a-dunk on him, all right? I mean, it's where the head winds, the butt winds up on the head. It's how much he dunks there. So it's not going to be pretty this evening out there. Let's go to Saul's favorite part of the pregame show, the uniform matchup.
Oh, yeah.
The Suns win this one at least. It's the classic edition.
Sweet.
Sunburst versus whatever the hell that white monstrosity is that the Memphis Grizzlies are wearing tonight. So we got that. Let's get to the betting. That's what you're all here for.
Let's do it.
Is the gambling advice. I know it is. So let's take a look at what the DraftKings Sportsbook has the point differential at tonight. They actually have the Suns.
We have an update, though.
What?
Yeah, we do have an update. So since the injury report has been updated, Suns is now +3, minus 115, and then Memphis minus
the money going
345.
on the Grizz right now.
I mean, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot to argue there, and I think this is one of the first times in a long while we've seen the Suns as an underdog at home. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, they're going against one of the best teams in the West and one of the better defensive teams in the West, even though this year they've been really shaky defensively. So, listen, the Suns have got to come with all their guys ready to go. Like, if they're not, again, Memphis is a tough out. So you got to come locked in.
Shamet can be starting in place of Devin Booker, so 35 still a possibility tonight. Let's take a look at what our actual bets are on the game tonight. Look at this. Our picks of the game. I have Deandre Ayton plus 25 points at a plus 235 because I think they need it if they're going to have any chance to win.
Well, I think that's a solid play. It is Steven Adams, and he's had some ups and downs against Steven Adams over the years, but the way DA's been playing, I wouldn't doubt that. I have Ja Morant at over 41.5 PRA. That's points, rebounds, and assists. I think that's easy money. And Lindsay has DeAndre Ayton at over 20.5 points at a lesser value at plus 110.
She's just too big of a chicken to go plus 25 there. Let's take a look at who we have winning this game tonight. I'm not very confident, as Gerald isn't either. I have it Grizzlies by 5. Gerald has
Where's all
Grizzlies
that bulletin
by 7.
board material?
Well, when you're at full strength, I think it's there. Like you can't motivate Landry Shamet to be Devin Booker with a few quotes. Well, you need steroids and a whole hell of a lot of time.
You got Chris Paul out there. You got
the corpse of Chris Paul.
You got Mikal. I mean, come on, bulletin board. We can put it on him, Mikal. Let's go.
Okay. Look, if Mikal comes out and drops 25 like he's capable of, then this is different. I don't feel very confident in Mikal doing that right now.
Okay. All right. Well, Jose, one of our avid followers, says there's a 15-minute delay on the game right now. Oh, maybe because the game before it on ESPN.
We're not milking it. You guys can just go watch something else until the game is done. I'm not tap dancing because ESPN can't get their crap together, all right? So, did you want to actually say what your picks were, or the graphic?
Oh yeah, I got the Suns by. I mean, people can see it. Suns by 1.
I know, but I forget because we don't have audio. I forget we don't have an audio.
Yeah, I know. I knew what the assignment was, and then Gerald's got him by 7. In case you guys can't read,
and I have him by 5 in case you can't hear either. So there we go. That is our betting.
Well, we've offended everybody.
Well, why not? Cool. We might as well. It's late Friday night before Christmas Eve. We're a little punchy, and I think it's all right. I want to bring this up. We did a Christmas movie draft.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, people have no taste.
Oh my
gosh!
I
want to say. I'm pulling up the voting here. We did the voting in the YouTube, and I thought maybe it'll go a little different on Twitter. You know,
it did.
Well, not really. It didn't really go different on Twitter. Slightly different, as you won our YouTube.
Yeah,
vote,
I won it at the
right?
buzzer. Yeah,
and then Gerald has pulled away and won 44% to your 36% to my 20%. 20% of you are really smart. Gerald had Home Alone, The Grinch, Christmas Vacation, Rudolph, and Just Friends. Saul had Elf, A Christmas Story, Nightmare Before Christmas, The Grinch cartoon, and Gremlins. I had Die Hard, It's a Wonderful Life, Trading Places, Muppet Christmas Carol, and Bad Santa. And the one that I had that people actually were like, yeah, I really agree with that. Trading Places of all of them.
Trading Places is not even a Christmas movie.
Right, but a bunch of people were like, that's a good choice. I'm like, really?
See, this is where I'm disappointed in the education of some of our audience members. I'm not going to try and insult them, but however, Trading Places is not a Christmas movie. I think some people just look, oh, I love that movie. Blip. No, it's a Christmas movie. Gerald's is flawed because he has a movie that's not even a Christmas movie. If you didn't even notice it, you wouldn't even know it was at Christmas time outside of the fucking snow everywhere.
Which one?
Just Friends.
Just Friends, yeah. That's
Just
fair.
Friends is not even a Christmas movie. It's not even about Christmas.
Yeah, it really isn't. It goes through all yeah. Gerald won and cheated.
I know. It's because people like Gerald more.
I mean, that's true.
It's just like whatever.
When Lindsay's not there, the vote shifts to Gerald.
I know,
it's not fair.
But that's the thing is like if Lindsay was voting, she would have split the difference with Gerald, and then one of us would have won.
That's true. Not me.
Because people love Lindsay or they love Gerald, but they don't really like us. They just tolerate us.
Look, I don't pander to people. I just take what I like, and I don't care. You don't have to agree with it. 20% of you are just extremely smart. So I thought we'd touch on that. Again, any final thoughts when it comes to Suns Grizzlies tonight?
Just praying that we have a good game. This is the last one before Christmas night, and I just am like, I want to see some good basketball. I want to see good basketball on both ends of the court. I want to see a fantastic game. I hope we get that tonight. So those are my thoughts.
Mannery says, oh yeah, Espo, with Matt Ishbia, we now qualify for the big market team label. You think when somebody pays $4 billion that you might qualify for it? I told you. And then Marco says, the Rick and Morty Christmas specials have been solid. We said movies. That's television. So, but I agree with you. We love Rick and Morty. Gerald and
Christmas Vacation is trash, Connor, and you know it.
I mean, we talked about that yesterday. It's not good. It's 3 out of 3.
Lethal Weapon 1 is my favorite Christmas movie. See, you can't just put this as a setting of Christmas in the background. It has to be part of the story.
Was it Christmas when Murdoch was on the toilet with the bomb there? It was Christmas time?
I guess.
I don't remember that. Anyways.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Much like... Very, very good. I like what you did there. Very much like this game. This got ugly late. That could happen in the Suns-Grizzlies game. We hope not, because we're going to be here right after the game to talk about it. And we're going to need something entertaining because tomorrow's Christmas Eve and we'd like to go hang out with our families. So for Saul Bookman, I'm Espo. Ahoy, hoy.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though. Lindsay.